Hi, my name is Cara Del Barto. I was assigned Chapter 3 and I'm going to focus on attitude, specifically how attitudes are learned. People are not born with attitudes. Tesser states there are no genes for attitudes. However, inherited genes, such as taste and hearing, may have a slight influence on the attitudes of individuals. That said, they are formed mostly from nurture, not nature. Attitudes can vary as a function of religion, social upbringing, and the cultural landscape in which a person was raised. Attitudes form when one encounters an attitude object and evaluates it. It is important to understand this concept as attitudes help form decision-making in individuals. So I work at a Jewish preschool here in San Antonio, and this has been the perfect example of how attitudes are learned. I have a class of 8 children, with each one having their own unique attitude. Zoe is one of the sweetest. She's always following the rules and goes out of her way to include kids that are left out. She was always very genuine and honestly is rather intelligent for her age. Her mom has many of the same attributes. Her mom always reminds her in the morning to be nice to your teachers and friends, and she also ensures she has completed our morning routine before we even have to ask her to do it. Another kid, Shaya, is not quite so sweet. She's very rambunctious and doesn't follow the rules at all most of the time. She always wants to be the center of attention and cannot take no for an answer. Her mom exhibits many of the same attitudinal behaviors. As a Jewish preschool, we require that the children bring strictly kosher lunches to eat, and we do not allow meat. Every single day, the mom packs Shaya's lunch with different meats with no regard to our rules. When she comes to drop her kid off, she stays and talks to me for 15 minutes, disrupting the start of me and my class's day. I have politely suggested she leaves the classroom, but it still continues. We even had the principal tell her to stop staying for so long. We have things to do. However, it still continues. Similar to Shaya, she also won't take no for an answer. She likes being in the classroom as all the kids run up to her and give her the attention. Now that I have discussed the experience, I will make some inferences. As the year has progressed, I have gotten to know the parents of the children quite well. People always say, like father, like son, or like mother, like daughter, and this was proven to be true throughout my experiences. For both of the children discussed above, meeting their mothers shed a lot of light on why they have the attitudes they do. Throughout witnessing these behaviors, I have realized both girls learned their attitudes from their moms. Both cases have numerous commonalities between the child and parent. Attitude is highly influenced by the social upbringing of the individual, and this is largely based on the relationships they have with their family members. After all, for most people, when you are a young child, you spend pretty much all your time with your parents. That said, your parents are a pertinent part of your social upbringing and are a large indicator of how one's attitude will form as they get older. I have learned that it is important to consider the social upbringing of a child when perceiving the way they express their attitude. At first, it made me angry that Shaya acts the way she does, but I realized there are forces at play that are out of her control. In the end, I still work with her to get her to follow the rules and become an asset to the classroom because I care. She needs to learn to follow the rules, even if her mother doesn't. Now that I have made some inferences, I will discuss how these inferences can be transferred to other situations. It is important to acknowledge the social upbringing of people when considering their attitudes. When you have a friend that doesn't act the way you would like them to, maybe take a look at their upbringing and relationships with their parents. It can clear up the confusion on why their attitude is different from yours about certain things. Sometimes it's best to perceive them with the attitude to each their own. Don't try to change something that has been ingrained in them since early childhood by their parents. In conclusion, the information from the text on how attitudes are learned helped create a new social reality to experiences. Knowing that people's attitudes are a reflection of their social upbringing can help you avoid conflict and create stronger relationships. So what? Does this mean you need to change how you act in order to get along with people? No. If you are faced with someone who behaves in a way that you do not agree with, just move on. It was the way they were raised, and they most likely do not see anything wrong with their attitude. Kids idolize their parents and want to be like them, therefore integrating much of their parents' attitudinal behaviors into their own attitudes. Attitudes shape perceptions and influence judgments. Have you thought about how your attitude has caused you to perceive others in a certain way? Try not to be judgmental of people who are different from you. One must consider the social upbringing of an individual as attitudes are learned. Thanks for listening.